welcome to Metalai and welcome to Zagreb again.
Thank you for having me.
How are you feeling tonight before the gig? Excited or?
I'm excited about the gig. You know, I usually get excited once the music starts, as far as like the intro music. But I'm really looking forward because we have a new album, Alex, and so it's good to be here supporting that and back in Europe in general.
Yesterday you played in Bosnia for the first time, right? So how did the gig go?
It was incredible. I mean, it was truly unbelievable. I think there's some type of energy, unforgettable energy that exists when you go to a place for the first time and people are experiencing your music for the first time. So there's an exchange that's something very special that it's impossible to forget. So everything went extremely well with that, and I look forward to really going back.
Yeah, I hope it's going to be as great as in Croatia. I mean, it's going to be great here. Okay, you said that you are here to promote a new album. You have a new album out. It's called Alex, right? So can you tell us something about it?
Basically, we have written an album that is based on the novel by Anthony Burgess, A Clockwork Orange, and so we pretty much wrote like a theme to that actual book. We broke the album up into 4 different parts, kind of explaining the different ups and downs that Alex, the main character, goes through, from the very beginning, complete chaos and angry youth, and to incrimination of being broken down by the system. And then the third, which is almost like a revenge stage for everything that he's done, coming back to them. And then the last stage, which is not in the actual movie but in the book, it's sort of like an understanding of what's been happening and kind of making his own decision and making a change for himself.
So are you happy with the result, how it turned out musically and lyrically?
Extremely. I like the fact that it doesn't sound really like any of the past albums, so for us it's important to always evolve, to really move forward with the music and to try to create something that surprises us at the end of the process. We were able to work with different sounds with keyboards and people working with that we never worked with before, like a Sao Paulo Symphonic Orchestra, to do a song, Ludwig van. And it was a great experience. You know, we definitely are trying a lot of different things, you know, in order to give it this typical, this type of vibe, you know, something very special.
Who came up with the idea to do something like that, to cover a book, actually, a novel?
Well, we did that on the last album, actually, with Dante 21, and that idea was mine because I had read the book in high school. And then for A Clockwork Orange, at the same time we were doing Dante, we thought it would be also cool, so it just stayed in our minds to really work on this time around. So I think that idea was like Andreas, or a collaboration of us, all of us. And you know, it's very interesting because you have to really go deep within yourself to imagine these certain sounds, and words can be very powerful and can inspire many different things. So for us, we love to read, and it's always inspirational, you know, words.
There's one more question I wanted to ask you, and I guess that our audience wants to know it. I wanted to ask you, how did you end up in Sepultura?
I had a friend, and I was living in New York City, and I knew somebody that worked at the record label, and so he suggested I try out. They had a tape with no vocals, and they were giving it to various people all over the world, and I did what I thought should go on the song, and they got back to me like a month later, and they asked me to come to Brazil and do an audition. And so I went to Brazil and stayed there for a few weeks and really got along with everybody. You know, it was really something very special. I didn't know if we were going to actually work together.
Were you a fan before?
Yeah, I had a friend that introduced me to, like, the Arise album was the first thing that I got into. So I wasn't fanatical because I'd never seen them live. I only knew like the songs, certain songs, and I had the albums, and I was like, I mean, I wasn't a really extremely into heavy metal at the time. I was much more into like hardcore and punk rock. But what really drew me to them were the lyrics. Were I think they improved as they started to speak English. And so they were more political and social, and I could relate to it. And they were like really amazing leads and solos. I thought they were interesting, along with the rhythms that were different from other metal bands at the time. And I could relate to a little bit more than the other bands, so kind of drew me to it. But you know, it was just, I mean, I guess it was timing and everything and luck in order to really get in, and just being myself. They weren't looking for somebody to imitate what had been done before, so that would have been ridiculous and impossible to do. So, you know, it's been incredible. It's been over 10 years now, about 10 years, and a lot of incredible time, you know.
Did you ever regret joining the band?
Never, not for one bit. I mean, it's my life, you know. I devoted a lot of energy and time and changed my whole life in order to be a part of this band, you know, from '97 till now. And I even moved to Brazil, you know. And
so you live in Brazil?
I live in Sao Paulo, and I learned to speak Portuguese, and you know, yeah. So it's, you know, it's for real, you know. We're a real family, we're a real group, you know, and it's something that we truly believe, you know. And it's still, I still believe that we're evolving and growing as musicians and becoming creative, which is the whole purpose of doing music, I think, for all of us, is to really to have this elevation, you know, to be able to communicate with other people.
I know it's a bit early to ask, but do you have any conceptions, any ideas about the new material you're going to write, or it's just going to happen?
I think it will just happen from touring, you know, just naturally. But I've thought about it, definitely. You know, I definitely love to combine certain art fields, and you know, such as like writing and paintings. You know, we've worked with before with different artists I've done artwork for. So anything can happen. You know, we'll see.
Thank you very much. I wish you a great gig tonight.
Thanks for having me. Hey, this is DERRICK GREEN from Sepultura, and you're watching Metal Eye on ZAGREB 1.